The man who wants to become America's next president and take up office in the White House has been on a charm offensive to win support abroad and win votes back home. This close to the election, just 3 months, and the Republican candidate Mitt Romney's visit to Israel really boils down to one thing: winning over the American Jewish community before November's presidential ballot. It was a trip abroad, but all about votes back home. Meeting Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu put Mitt Romney on an international stage. With the old city of Jerusalem as a backdrop, he pledged to support Israel against Iran.
We should employ any and all measures to dissuade the Iranian regime from its nuclear course. And it is our fervent hope that diplomatic and economic measures will do so. In the final analysis, of course, no option should be excluded. We recognize Israel's right to defend itself and that it is right for America to stand with you.
This speech was designed to show Mr Romney as presidential, able to lead America, and answer his critics who say he's weak on foreign policy. But commentators say it also helps influence voters back home.
During a presidential campaign season, you can assume from the very beginning that everything that a candidate does is designed to win an election. The way you win an election is to get more votes. And so if he goes to Israel, for example, it is an effort on his part to get the votes of two important blocs in the United States. One, American Jews, and second, American evangelicals, who are very supportive of Israel.
For Republican candidates, though, Jewish voters are hard to persuade. In 2008, 78% of Jews chose Democrat Barack Obama. But since then, some have become disillusioned with President Obama's stance on the Middle East peace process. Exactly why the White House chose now to announce an additional $70 million in military aid for Israel, boosting Jewish support and upstaging Mitt Romney.
I hope that as I sign this bill, once again everybody understands how committed all of us are, Republicans and Democrats, as Americans, to our friends in making sure that Israel is safe and secure.
Romney also needs the votes of evangelical Christians, a small but significant group in important swing states like Ohio, Florida and Pennsylvania. But analysts feel his trip to Israel and Poland, while significant, won't be the deciding factor come November.
He probably is not going to get that many additional votes across the board. And if he succeeded in looking and sounding presidential, so much the better for him. But it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, what is going to determine this election is not whether Romney went to Poland, but how many additional jobs exist in Polish-American communities in this country.
By backing Israel, Mitt Romney is courting both Jewish and evangelical Christian voters. Some of those evangelicals may find his own Mormon faith more palatable now they know that his ideals on Israel match their own. But with the economy looming large as the main election issue, Mr Romney's foreign charm offensive may not count for much with Jewish or evangelical Christian voters when they come to choose their next president. This is Nick Harper for JN1 in Washington, D.C.